Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 6:45 PM, and a quorum of members is present, so the meeting of the Board of Education of the School District of New Berlin is called to order. Please call the roll.
Ms. Crosby? Mr. Helmer? Ms. Connick?
Here.
Mr. Kurth?
Here.
Ms. Schultz?
Here.
Mr. Seidel?
Here.
Ms. Spindler?
Here.
Mr. Helmer let me know he will be late, and Ms. Crosby will not be here this evening. Then can I have a motion to recess to closed session?
Madam President, I move to adjourn into closed session pursuant to Section 19.85, 1C, E, and F of the Wisconsin statutes to consider A, the approval of closed session minutes of June 26th, B, the employment, performance, and compensation matters pertaining to staff.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Kurth and a second by Mr. Seidel. Please call the roll.
Mr. Kurth?
Yes.
Mr. Seidel?
Yes.
Ms. Connick?
Yes.
Ms. Schultz?
Yes.
Ms. Spindler?
Yes.
We are moving into closed session and we'll return to open session around 7 o'clock. It is now 7:11 PM, and we are returning from closed session into open session. In recognition of the serious and important nature of our efforts here, we will join in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. For all those who are able, please rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, for those who wish to prepare for the meeting, we will have a moment of silence. This is a public meeting of the Board of Education. Prior to this meeting, notice was given to the public last Friday by providing the agenda to the City Library. The agenda was also posted on the district website. A copy of the agenda was forwarded to the Journal Sentinel, the Waukesha Freeman, and the Waukesha Now, all of which have filed requests for all public notices. First, we have privilege of the floor, and we do have one this evening. Ann, I'm sorry, I know that your name, Ann Slafinski. I just can't say it tonight, so I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay, thank you. I won't start the timer because I got to take a deep breath and read fast. All right. Hello, everyone. Ann Shaflinsky, district resident. As an Eisenhower football parent and Football Booster Club board member, I care deeply about the culture in the program, how our student athletes are treated, how they treat each other, and what they learn beyond football skills during the hundreds of hours that they spend together all year. Our coaching staff works hard to teach them, instilling a sense of family, caring for one another, and to the greater community around them. For example, the staff emphasizes personal responsibility and time management. Coach Kern conducts a leadership group which meets to discuss things like the Twin Thieves book. That book addresses things relevant to teenagers, the fear of failure and fear of judgment. They learn how to deal with conflict, motivate their peers, and what servant leadership looks like. In other words, the staff is busy building character in addition to building football skills. This product of this was on display in the players' recent community service. They worked at the day a constant stream of postal trucks rolled in full of donations for the New Berlin Food Pantry. A community member was so impressed that she took the time to write a letter to Coach Kern, and with her permission, thank you, I share this with you with only a few edits for brevity. Matt, thank you for organizing the group of football players to help with the postal food drive. I'm a regular volunteer and help for large food drives. Over the years, there have been several groups of high school students. By far, the Eisenhower football player students were the best I have ever seen in my many years I have helped. As the postal drivers turned into the driveway, these boys were on their feet, ready to unload the truck without being asked to do so. I heard Barb Jacob, the director of the pantry, telling them that they could leave, but they wanted to stay so they could help with the cleanup. I was very impressed that these young adults welcomed other young adults into their conversation while sorting food. The Ike football players were helpful and polite. One of the adults asked, "Where are the media cameras now?" Without knowing it, these students were a positive role model for others. Many of the adults comment on how hard these students worked. I worked with both middle and high school students for 42 years. It takes dedication, time, and effort on your part to make this happen. It is heartwarming to see the high school students indirectly helping people they don't know. Thank you for being such an example to the students. Please feel free to share this with the students and the administration. Thank you for organizing the team to help and do what you do with the young adults. Feel free to contact me, Lynette Hauke. So I wanted you to hear this success story. Side note, did you all know that our stadium track has been decertified? So we cannot host varsity meets? Did you also know we're the only school in the area that can't host evening soccer games due to lack of lights? Can you imagine how much benefit there would be to our maintenance crew, boys and girls soccer, baseball, softball, track and field, football, band, dance, cheer teams, if we use some ESSER funds and perhaps booster funds to get that artificial turf and new track that we all dream of? Just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you. I forgot to read my little disclaimer thing before, but I think we all know it, so.
I know by heart.
Thank you. I don't have a president's message or announcements this evening, so we can move on to the superintendent's update.
So 1975 was a good year. It was the year that I was born. Oh, you too? All right, so it was a really good year. 1975 was also the year that Jeff Bradley started working for the school district of New Berlin. Actually, no, it was 6 years after that he started working for the school district of New Berlin. 42 years of dedication. Started out as a part-timer and worked his way up to essentially being in charge of our buildings or our grounds crew. While we don't have the field turf or the artificial turf, we have some of the best natural turf in the area. And that's because of people like Jeff. Jeff has done an incredible job on our behalf. He's been a great representative. His wife Dory recently retired after 20-some-odd years with the school district. Jeff will certainly is a quiet individual, but his work and his passion speak for itself. And I am one where I actually take a lot of pride in the outside of our facilities. While they may not be the newest, the most modern, and so on and so forth, they are looking good. And it's because of the pride that Jeff and the group that he works with and supervises put in and day out. Jeff is one of those guys that when I'm canceling school at 5:30 a.m., when I'm texting all of you or leaving you voicemails as a parent, Jeff may have already been here in the school district working for 3 hours, trying to clear things just in case we were to have school. Jeff, we greatly appreciate your commitment, dedication to the school district, to our staff, and especially to our students. We thank you very much, and you're certainly going to be missed. Come on up, Jeff.
Thank you.
A small memento of our appreciation. We also actually did recognize Jeff in front of our staff at the end of the school year. When's your last day, Jeffrey?
Friday.
Anything you'd like to say?
Thank you. It's been a good, long time here, and hopefully the next part of my life will be a little different and changed and stuff like that. So, thank you.
Congratulations, Jeff. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. All of you too.
Thank you.
Is that it then for the superintendent? Okay. All right, and then we have a couple of reports, the incident report, the donations report. Mr. Seidel, would you please read the donations report?
It would be my pleasure. The first one was for New Berlin West, the Herb Cole Educational Foundation, to support Samantha Jane as one of the Herb Cole Educational Foundation recipients at New Berlin West in the amount of $6,000. The approval date was 6/26/2023. The next one was for New Berlin West, the Herb Cole Educational Foundation, support Samantha Brunn as one of the Herb Cole Educational Foundation recipients at New Berlin West in the amount of $6,000. And the approval date, 6/26/2023. Thirdly, we have the New Berlin West High School Football Booster Club to support New Berlin West with a HiPod camera in the amount of $1,200. And that, again, the approval date was 6/26/2023. The New Berlin West chapter support the Trap Club at New Berlin West in the amount of $1,000. Approval date 6/26/2023. Next is again New Berlin West, Wisconsin High School Football Coaches Association to support New Berlin West with a WFCA grant for football in the amount of $27,090. The approval date 6/26/2023. Next was for Elmwood, Herb Cole Educational Foundation to support Elmwood's special education program in the amount of $6,000. The approval date was 7/17/2023. Next was Ronald Reagan Home and School, to support all-school read and purchase kindergarten packets in the amount of $546 or $64.66. Approval date was 6/6/2023. Next, we have New Berlin West, PPG Foundation, to support New Berlin West Spanish teacher with her field trip in the amount of $1,000. Sorry. The approval date was 6/26/2023. The next one was the PPG Foundation to support the French Honor Society at New Berlin West in the amount of $1,000. Approval date was 6/26/2023. Lastly, we have New Berlin West PPG Foundation to support the construction program at New Berlin West in the amount of $2,000. Approval date was 7/16/2023, bringing our total donations to $27,554.66. Thank you so much to our generous donors. As always, that ends my report.
Thank you. Then we have the consent agenda, which includes notice, the approval of minutes of the board meeting on June 26th, and the financial reports. Are there any items that should be pulled out for separate consideration? Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Seidel, a second by Mr. Kurth, to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. On to our regular agenda. Our first is discussion and approval of the annual declaration and parent notice of the district's student academic standards, which will be in effect for the 2023-24 school year, pursuant to Section 120.12.13 and Section 118.31G and A 1 of the state statutes.
Yeah, so as Janet mentioned, this is a statutory requirement. We do this every year. The only change from last year to this year is if you look at the dual enrollment courses, we have added a partnership with UW-Whitewater. So with that, we would recommend approval of the annual notice as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Seidel and a second by Mr. Kurth to approve. Any discussion? This sort of goes to the changes in the ELA curriculum. I know there's discussion about that at the state level as far as changing. Is that something that would affect this if they change the standards, and then would it affect our the academic standards?
So the recent legislation related to literacy in Wisconsin was related to curriculum, not standards.
Okay.
So it's not only the philosophical implementation of, based on the research of the science of reading, it also is based on structured literacy techniques. If the state had changed their standards, then we would have updated this. But no standards were changed.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Then all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. And then we have first read of some new policies for adoption. They are the 6,000s for finances, 7,000s for property, 8,000s for operations, and 9,000s for relations. And so there's no action needed today, just to
No
remind
action
you.
needed today. I did want to just let you know that we have been working with Neola. We actually even just had a meeting as late as last week, making sure that we are getting the most updated policies from Neola so that we can get into that new cadence of only have to doing this a couple times a year annually. So this is basically our big full sweep of making the updates, which I know has been a goal of ours. This will get us there. So again, if you do have any comments, questions, or concerns, please let us know before the next meeting. But again, most of the updates have been made with Neola and their recommendations, and or in consultation with our legal counsel as needed.
Okay. Since there's a bunch of them again, if I could suggest maybe we break them down to make sure at least somebody's getting an eye on these. So for instance, finances could go, definitely those of us on the finance committee to do that. Property and operations, the facilities. And I'm thinking relations could be personnel committee. So at least we've got some eyes on all of these. Anybody have questions now? Okay, if you have any questions, please direct them to Mr. Garza. You can copy myself just to make sure that everybody gets their questions answered. And then we have one action on an item from closed session.
I move to approve the employment, performance, and compensation matters pertaining to staff as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Kurth and a second by Mr. Seidel to approve. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. And then we have future meetings and dates. Board meetings are generally held the second and fourth Mondays, beginning at 7:00 p.m. in Conference Room E at district offices unless noted otherwise. Our next meetings are August 14th, August 28th, and September 11th. Other important events and dates already, it's September 5th, the first day of school. And then September 25th is the annual meeting and budget hearing. Now we're going to return to closed session. Could I please have a motion for closed session?
I make a motion to move to closed session.
For, say that little thing again.
Oh, the whole thing again.
Yeah, you gotta say why.
I move to adjourn into closed session pursuant to section 19.85, 1C, E, and F of the Wisconsin statutes to consider, well, what are we considering today?
Superintendent's 2023-24 goals.
Superintendent's 2022 and 2023 goals.
2023 to 2024 goals.
2023 to 2024.
Second.
Goals.
Okay.
Got it.
So we have a motion by Mr. Kurth, a second by Mr. Seidel. Please call the roll.
Mr. Kurth,
Yes.
Mr. Seidel,
Yes.
Mr. Helmer,
Yes.
Ms. Connick,
Yes.
Ms. Schultz,
Yes.
Ms. Spindler.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be moving into closed session, and we will adjourn from closed session.